The other day I was walking into a hardware store and I saw this little 5-year-old guy in front of a table full of some bags of popcorn like this and some other eateries. So I walked up to him and I knew he was selling something. I always like to do that because I think it's important for us as adults to let kids pitch, to learn how to sell. So I bought this $20 bag of popcorn and I loved it because it said, "Thank you for supporting future leaders." Well, I realized that leaders have to sell. Now, you can sell and not be a leader, but you can't be a leader and not sell. So in this session, we're going to talk about why it's so important for you as a parent to teach your child how to sell, negotiate, persuade. Because whether or not they're a leader, they can use that skill, but if they're a leader, they have to have that skill. You're going to enjoy this session.
Welcome to another edition of KidLead Academy training series with Dr. Alan E. Nelson, designed to help parents develop their children to lead so they can succeed. And now, here's Alan.
Today we're diving into a skill that might surprise you as an essential part of developing young leaders: selling. When we think of leadership, we often think of inspiring others, solving problems, and making good decisions. But an essential aspect of leadership is the ability to sell ideas. Leaders need to be able to communicate their vision in a way that excites others and brings them on board. They must feel comfortable persuading and negotiating to build trust and reach common goals. After all, a leader who can't sell their ideas won't go very far. Here's an interesting stat. Research shows that over 70% of employers say communication and persuasion are among the top skills they look for in future leaders. Additionally, one study found that young people who practice negotiation and persuasive communication early on were 50% more likely to be confident in their careers. So let's start developing these skills now, with a bit of family fun. Now, I understand why some of you parents may hesitate to teach your kids sales skills because they'll likely begin using them with you. Imagine your child trying to convince you to let them stay up just a little bit longer. Suddenly, they turn into a persuasive pro. "Mom, if I stay up just 30 more minutes, I'll have time to read, and reading is good for my brain, right?" But obviously, knowing how to sell, persuade, and negotiate are important skills for anyone. But they are essential for leaders because leaders are constantly selling others on their ideas, persuading people to follow them, and negotiating resources with others. So let me give you 4 practical ideas that you can begin using immediately to empower your child with selling skills. Number 1, let them pitch you an idea. Encourage your child to present their idea for something they want. This could be as simple as why they should get a pet or stay up later on weekends or have dessert before dinner just this once. Have them make a mini presentation with reasons, benefits, and maybe even some drawings. The key here is to help them see how to structure their ideas in a way that appeals to others. This gets them into the practice of not just asking for things, but selling you, siblings, or friends on why it's a good idea to support their suggestion. Number 2, role play in real-life scenarios. Try role-playing with them. Pretend you're the teacher, a neighbor, or even a business owner, and ask them to sell you on their ideas or invention. This practice helps build confidence and lets them think about the needs and perspectives of others. Make it fun by switching roles and letting them play the customer too. Don't make it too hard, but also don't make it too easy. Reward good idea sharing, critical thinking, and persuasion. 3, set up a front yard lemonade stand. This classic activity is a fantastic way to teach kids about selling in a hands-on, fun way. Have them set up a lemonade stand in your front yard where they can sell anything from lemonade to crafts they've made or even some candy. They can make signs, practice giving change, and interact with customers who you might help recruit. A similar idea is if you have a garage sale yourself, put them in charge of a task or have them sell their own things in one section of the garage or driveway. This teaches them the basics of attracting attention, making transactions, and engaging with people. Our granddaughters have done this several times, so I thought I'd reach out to my oldest son and his daughters, ages 9 and 7, so you could hear directly from them. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. I wanted to tell your story because I know that you guys have had some sales. I won't call them lemonade sales, but some sales in front of your house. I wanted you to tell us a little bit of your story, okay? So, girls, did your parents ask you to do this, or did you go to your parents and say, hey, we want to have a sale?
So, we had the idea and then we asked our parents.
And what made you want to sell something?
Because we started to collect money for things. So we thought a good way, since there's shops, we couldn't do a whole shop. So we wanted a table with stuff on it that we could sell for a few dollars.
So how did you go about deciding what you were going to sell?
Well, we had been making lots of crafts, and so we looked and we decided, I don't really know, but we just decided things that we thought would be good to sell and stuff, like crafts that we made. Oh, and sometimes we made cookies and lemonade.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, Jeff, how did you and Ange decide what you were going to do when they came to you with this idea?
We were supportive of it and tried to talk through with them timing and when we can do it and cannot do it, and locations, because our house is on a busy road, and so had to test a few different spots as well. But they were responsible and interested in making all the inventory and really driving it forward. So we tried to provide what they might need and what they wanted, and then let
them. So they were kind of in charge, and you were on staff. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that'd be a true statement. I moved the tables and the chairs to the road, and the first couple times they made signs that said sale, and they used their own money for change. Maybe borrowed a little bit of change at various points too. So, ladies, talk to us a little bit about the details, because if people are watching this, maybe their kids are want to say, hey, I want to do this. How did you decide on the price for things?
So, how we decided on the price was we told ourselves is this going to be popular or no? Because if it was, people would have to pay for more.
Oh, that's smart. And how did you market it? How did people know that you guys were having a sale?
So they would just we didn't want to do it on Hope Valley Road. That's too busy. But we tried it in a few different places in our neighborhood. And then once we did it at a friend's house.
So what advice would you give to other kids who are saying, hey, Mom, Dad, let's do what they did. Let's have a sale. What advice would you give them? What worked and what didn't?
Yeah.
Perhaps you can share, so at different points you'd made cookies and bookmarks and wrote original poems and paintings. So you kind of varied things, but then there were also times where we went out and really no one stopped by.
Well, we actually had at least about 2 or 1 person every time we did it, but at least that many. There was once we got $12, and I think that's the highest we've ever gone. Right?
That's great. So do you plan to do it again?
Yes.
All right.
We're not really making, and just for an example, we thought my masks that I made face masks, we thought they wouldn't sell as good, so we did $2. And then we found out they sold excellent, and we added more over time.
Hey, Jeff, as a parent, how would you do anything differently, or what advice would you give to other parents who are maybe kind of leery about, oh my gosh, this sounds like kind of a scary thing for my kids to do on their own? So
Yeah, I think just like go for it and make them responsible for the process and for making all the signage and inventory. And then if something doesn't work well, kind of talking through with them what you might want to try differently next time, kind of helping them think through those dimensions of it.
that's awesome. Hey, I've got one more question for you. It popped inside my head. What did you do with the money you made? Did you have a special project, or what did you do with your profit?
But we're just saving up to like buy things. Sometimes we spent the money on like birthday presents for friends, but then we're really just saving up for other things. And Dad bought some things for us, and then we paid him how much that he bought. And
Oh,
we
that's
still have
great.
to pay him $8 more.
I tell you, those loan sharks, they can be pretty tough. Hey, thanks, ladies. It's been a real honor, and I'm sure that you'll inspire a lot of families to do something very similar, okay? Have a great day.
Bye.
And number 4, teach them the basics of negotiation. Negotiation is a vital part of selling. Next time your child wants something, say a trip to the ice cream shop, don't say no outright. Instead, offer a counter suggestion like, well, if you finish your homework and chores, we can go. Or you could ask, what are you willing to do in exchange for an ice cream trip? You see, this way they think in terms of giving for getting. This teaches them that there's give and take, a key part of selling ideas and negotiating in the real world. By making these activities a part of your everyday routine, you're setting up your child for future success. Whether they become CEOs, teachers, or business people, the ability to sell ideas will be one of the most valuable skills they'll have. So have fun with these activities, and remember, every pitch they make, no matter how small, is a step forward to becoming a more effective leader. And remember this, if you want to help your child succeed, develop them to lead.